everywhere. Every Twitter account has been posting my face, you know, with different clips, to be fair. But yeah, we're here. We got rejected again. And this is going to be a long summer, man, and a long season. Cannot wait.
I hear you. And Mo, of course, welcome, my friend. Hope you're good.
Alhamdulillah, open bracket, add Zubamendi, close bracket. And then we'll start the show, bro. It's 5 names now, 5 big names, Habibi.
It's crazy. And look, we've got a lot to talk about. Arsenal planning and plotting a new bid for Merino to get that deal done. Ugarte to United is close. Chelsea moving forward with the Osimhen deal. And we're going to get into all of that, plus get the boys' opinion about the start of the Premier League season. That's just literally 2 days away now. But we have to start with the rejection. We have to start with what went wrong for Liverpool. What's next for Liverpool? Especially now you've calmed down a little bit, Husam, and you've kind of had, gone and got a haircut, had a little trim. I noticed because you were looking like, I did think you looked a bit like Screech from Saved by the Bell the other day. You had that sort of look about you, but you got rejected. You guys have taken a beat down online, but what's next for Liverpool?
I mean, I first of all, I need to understand all these like comparisons you make because I don't watch half of these shows that you talk about, so I don't even know who it is you're referring to. I hope they don't look like shit. But anyway, yeah, I had to go get a haircut as well, But another year, the same story again. I thought it was different this time with the Edwards and Hughes and different kind of sporting directors and direction. I think this is just a massive sign of incompetence yet again on all levels from a Liverpool perspective. This is an incompetent sporting director, an incompetent board, and incompetent ownership, proving once again that they're not serious, that they're not actually willing to do what it takes. And this can be explained in a very simple way. Let's all be honest before we get into the whole, Liverpool have no pull and all that garbage. Before we start saying all that stuff, here's the thing. At the end of the day, Martin Zubimendi went from no to everyone else, to a yes to us. He gave us the green light on Wednesday, or this wouldn't have been a saga to begin with. Instead of actually moving like a serious club and just paying the release clause then and there, we decide to mess around, give the guy that supports this club, that plays for the club that he supports, the opportunity to reject us, the opportunity to think about it. We gave him 3-4 days unnecessarily. I mean, the moment Martin Zubimendi gives you the green light, you pay the release clause then and there and just keep it stepping. Because if Martin Zubimendi said no on Wednesday, this wouldn't have been a saga. This wouldn't have been a thing. So I believe there was an agreement in place. But we gave Sociedad and himself the time to change their mind. And that for me is the biggest sign of incompetence, the biggest sign of not actually doing what's required of you. And now we're leaving ourselves short and we come back with the same PR nonsense of having to rely on players from the team and having to there are no other replacements other than Zubimendi. There's no one in the market that's like him and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a different summer, but the same story to you. So this is where we're at.
I don't believe that. I don't believe this. I don't believe all of this. This is copium. This is the Liverpool PR. Guys, everything that Husam said might be true, but it's not a fact. Everything that is reported that he gave the yes to Liverpool is not a fact. This is what Liverpool want to tell us. This is what Liverpool board and Liverpool PR want to tell us. You might have said, I would think about it. You might have said, I will give it a thought. This notion that he rejected Liverpool for the mountains is crazy. It's just copium. Liverpool might not have actually presented the right project for the guy. He's a professional football player. He never gave the full yes to Liverpool. This notion that Liverpool gave him time to think and he changed his opinion, it's not a fact. It's a probability. I am not in the know, but it's not a fact. Liverpool might have gotten rejected because they didn't present a good project to the guy. He's waiting for Barcelona. He's waiting for something else. And by the way, for all Liverpool fans that are coping with this and say, he rejected everyone else. You told us you're the biggest club in England, that you are not like the others. And I'm not here to cook Husam, right? Husam did not negotiate with the guy. I'm here to cook Husam for one thing. It was Jurgen Klopp who was dealing with the transfers. It was Jurgen Klopp was the problem. Now we have Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes. Now we got the guys that run the club well. literally now, they say they are trying to absolutely, when I don't know the word in English, but they're trying to they put the cortisone on the wound. By the way, Arne Slot can fix a DM from the squad, can find the player to fill in the hole. We don't have another alternative for Zubamendi. Zubamendi is not the best player in the world. He wasn't even a starter for the Spanish national team. He wasn't even ahead of Fabian Ruiz. Fabian Ruiz is out there. You could sign another midfielder. They wanted a target. He didn't want to go at the end, and they don't want to be embarrassed again, maybe. But this notion that Liverpool PR are telling their fans, and I'm not talking about Husam, I'm talking about everyone else. By the way, he rejected us for the mountains. That's not a fact. That's not a fact. It's a professional football player.
Here's
him stupid. No, bro, I'm not. I don't believe that.
Here's the thing, Mo. You know, here's the thing. You said it last week yourself. There is no smoke without fire. At the end of the day, if the guy said no on Wednesday, it would have been just a rejection and would have just kept it stepping. My problem with your argument is, I know you're not trying to trigger me per se, because there is nothing that what I said that you disagree with. You're speaking to the Liverpool fans that are coping, which I understand because I've cooked them myself. My issue is the following. Here's genuinely what I believe went down, and this is the only logical explanation because I'm just following a logical train of thought. Let's assume we called Martin Zubamendi on Wednesday and he said no. What would have happened? Martin Zubamendi rejects Liverpool on Wednesday. We would have gotten that article and life would have kept moving forward. Now, this is what I believe genuinely happened. Martin Zubamendi on Wednesday was spoken to. There was an agreement in place. But instead of us paying the release clause then and there, we decided to go back to negotiating so we could amortize the fee over a 4 or 5 year period, therefore giving Sociedad 3-4 days to actually convince the guy, to actually change the guy's mind. He himself had 3-4 days to talk with his family, to talk with the people around him, to talk to just because he is, at the end of the day, he is a Sociedad fan. He plays for the club in his local city, so it's not easy to convince him, as Bayern have found out, as Arsenal have found out, as Man United have found out. He's basically told no to everyone. Now we've changed that no to a yes. The smart move would have been, okay, Sociedad, 51 million release clause. Here's the 51 million. Give me the player. Keep it stepping. We went like, no, we're not going to pay the 51 straight away. We are going to go back to negotiating. And we ended up negotiating. And then that gave Zubamendi the time to say no. And that's how we ended up where we ended up. And the bigger disaster, Mo, is not even the Zubamendi stuff alone. The bigger disaster is the stuff that Mo's saying, which is the reported news via the Paul Joyces of the world and other Liverpool, journalists that, Liverpool don't find the DM in the market that is like Zubamendi. My brother, respectfully, we employ Wataru Endo. We have no other DM in the whole team. There is massive upgrades. This is it's easy to buy DMs. It's not a problematic position. I can name about 5, 6, 7 DMs. Terry can name 5, 6, 7. Mo can name 5, 6, 7 DMs that massively and drastically improve Liverpool Football Club. So to act like, oh my God, there is no other DM other than Zubamendi. Liverpool Football Club were much better for multiple reasons 4 or 5 years ago with Michael Edwards. I'll tell you guys why. First of all, the scouting network that we had at the time was prime, A1, the best in the world. Now everyone has that scouting network because Liverpool, United, Arsenal, Chelsea, City are all targeting kind of the same players. If you look at the top 10 lists of players, they're all kind of the same because we all have similar scouting networks now. And what made Liverpool special was the fact that if the plan A didn't work, we always went for plan B. Götze, Brandt, Zielinski were all plan A's. Plan B's were Gini Wijnaldum, Robertsons. And by the way, I actually found out that Alisson was a plan B because we wanted to go in for Jack Butland. See, people don't remember this. Alisson, who's the best keeper in the world right now, was a plan B. Mo, who's the best forward / best player in the league for the last 7 years, was a plan B. Sadio Mane, who won the Golden Boot, who contributed to Liverpool winning, was a plan B. Wijnaldum, who had all those incredible moments for Liverpool, was a plan B. The bigger issue is not getting rejected by plan A. The bigger issue is you telling me that there is no plan B. That, for me, is the bigger issue because you cannot tell me it's either Zubamendi or bust. There is no other improvement. That's kind of just absolute horseshit.
No, I agree. I agree, boys. And I think that for years, I always made a joke about it. And I refer to Liverpool as sort of communist Merseyside. Is a little bit, literally all from, you guys seen the film? I think it's called Child 44, with Tom. I think Tom Brady, not Tom Brady.
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy. Tom Brady. Tom Hardy's in it, and a few other top actors. And there's a scene. This little boy in the movie is murdered and found by a railway track. No, sorry, found like 300 meters away from a railway track, and they tell the parents that your son was hit and killed by a train. And they asked this question, and it made me laugh at the time because I was a lot younger watching it. It was, well, how did my son getting hit by a train take all these clothes off, right? And the policeman just responds with, well, we all live in paradise. So you're not suggesting it was murder? And they went, well, yes, we live in paradise. Murder can't happen here. And it made me like research what was actually going on in that part of the world during those times. These things were said. Well, there can be no murder. There can be no major crime because you live in paradise. And in paradise, nothing bad happens. Liverpool's PR has used the same mental gymnastics. Well, we're perfectly run. We're the biggest team in the world. We are perfect. So therefore, no point can any of the negative stories ever be true. I got cooked last summer for reporting that a big Saudi team could come in and make a sort of world record offer to Mo Salah in terms of salary. Nonsense. We're letting him go. Never going to happen. Didn't say it was going to happen. Said the deal might be offered. Turns out the offer was true. Liverpool fans, I get there's protecting your football club and not wanting other people to slag it off. And I understand it so deeply. However, there are times where you've got to wake up and smell the coffee. What they've said about bringing in no other six. They've told you they need a six. Now they're not going to bring one in. Instead, they're going to spend £30 million on a goalkeeper that you do not need. They're going to drop 30 million on that and then loan him out as an example. It's not good enough. I still think you're in the top four. I still think you'll be in the title race for a period of time next year. But getting over the line, you haven't just got to beat City. You've also got to finish ahead of Arsenal as well that are really good. So it's harder now than at any other point in the Klopp era to try and win the league. You need these signings, and allowing the club to pull the wool over your eyes with lies is crazy. Question I have for you, Husam. With Zubimendi being added to the list of Mason Mount, Tchouaméni, Bellingham, Caicedo, Lavia, and others.
Don't even.
Do you guys, Lenny Yoro,
he did not reject us.
Is this proof that Liverpool don't have the pull that you and your fan base think you have?
No, absolutely not. Liverpool have pull, but we just don't want to pull. Liverpool have pull, but we lack serious executional skills. If you want to have an honest conversation, we can have an honest conversation. If you're telling me, if we're going to talk about the City thing, then the players that play for Liverpool, Man United, and Man City all are neighbors anyway and live in the same areas. You know this as well, Terry. So let's not even act like they're living next to Anfield anyway, or living next to Old Trafford, they all live in those areas regardless. If we're talking about where the team is in the Champions League. If we're talking about unproven manager and shit like that, then Chelsea have Enzo Maresca. So let's look at what this is for what it actually is. Liverpool Football Club's problem is a serious lack of executional skills, lack of funding, and a lack of ambition. That is genuinely the biggest problem, because you cannot tell me that Liverpool aren't attractive. And by the way, Zubimendi proves that we have pull, because you know what else happened? You know what happened to Zubimendi with the other clubs? He just said no. He actually told us yes. But then we proceeded to negotiate again and again and again and again.
You're assuming this. You're assuming this. You're assuming this.
Don't interrupt me, please. You're assuming this because you want to get the Liverpool fans rattled, and I'm actually using logic.
No, you're assuming this. You actually
give the logical argument and then rattle after.
Okay, go ahead. Say your logic. What makes you sleep well at night? Yes,
no problem. What makes me sleep at night? Here's the thing with Liverpool Football Club. Liverpool are an attractive football club that can attract most players in the world. That's just the fact. The problem is, once we attract them, what we do. I mean, you're not going to have Mbappe talking about you publicly whilst being employed by PSG while having no pull. That's not kind of how football works. Obviously, we've attracted a lot of players. We've attracted the best of the best. The problem is our genuine lack of execution. And this has been shown by everyone that Terry just mentioned. And I can show you exactly where the problem is with all these players. With Zubimendi, we've already discussed it. Pay the release clause. On Wednesday, he becomes your player. Last summer, you tell Lavia for the whole summer that he's your first choice, and then you go drop 150 million on Caicedo out of nowhere. Lavia then goes like, wait a minute, you've been telling me I'm first choice for the last 2 months. You just stabbed me in the back, so I'm going to stab you in the back. With Moises Caicedo, if you wanted Moises Caicedo, you should have told him 2 months before that. instead of waiting 2 months. You just dropped the 115 million in June instead of dropping it in August. Jude Bellingham was 100% a rejection by a massive institution and by a massive club. And that was a player that rejected both Manchester City, Liverpool, Man United, everyone, and he went to the biggest club in the world. So complete rejection. Chouameni was a rejection because he wanted to move to Real Madrid, who's much more bigger club than us, 100%. So it's not a fact of Liverpool have no pull. It's a fact of we're pulling the player, we're attracting the player, but we have a serious lack of execution as to how to actually make the player a Liverpool player. So my problem isn't step one. Because pull is step one, meaning I was pulled by the football terrace. That's step one. Step two is now for me to come here and actually deliver and be entertaining and have good football opinions and have the people in the chat, like what I say, dislike what I say, have an opinion on me, heal, blah, blah, blah. That's the issue. The problem for us is literally never step one. Because we are capable and we've shown the ability over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years of attracting those players. The problem is now the players attracted to you. What do you do now? And that is where we genuinely crumble and fall and we're just absolutely clueless and have no idea what we're literally gonna do. And that for me is the problem. Lavia is used as an example of rejection. We could have had Lavia as soon as the Premier League season ended last year. Everyone here knows this. It was reported by Belgian journalists, Premier League journalists, Liverpool journalists. Lavia is Liverpool's priority. Lavia only wants Liverpool. Lavia wants to play for Jurgen Klopp. We proceeded to delay that thing right there for 2 months. We spent 2 months just sat on our ass, delaying the Lavia deal. And out of nowhere, we go drop 150 million on Caicedo. So that's not a Lavia rejection. That's us being absolutely idiotic and stupid. And people who are working at Liverpool right now, who have these serious lack of execution skills, deserve to get sacked. Richard Hughes deserves to get sacked because this is his job. His job is literally these 3 months in the year where he has to execute, and he couldn't execute that. And that's just the reality of the situation. If you're going to tell me it's what helps you sleep at night, I have a simple question that no one who says Liverpool has no pull can answer. If Zubimendi just said no, what has happened over the last 4 or 5 days? Explain it to me, because this could have been over on Wednesday. On Wednesday, could have said no, and we could have moved on.
No one said that. No one said that, but fine. Okay, so Husam is shifting the blame. So what Husam is doing, that's how I'm seeing the situation. Husam is shifting the blame to blame the ownership, which is always done, and blame the people. But he doesn't want to admit that there is no evidence that Zubimendi has said, yes, I will join Liverpool. He might have said, I think about it, present the deal, I will think about it, I will talk to Sociedad, and at the end make a decision. There is no evidence, by the way, that he said yes to Liverpool. There is no evidence, which is fine. Husam can attack the guys that run the club because they made a mess out of this, like what they made a mess out of Caicedo and Lavia as well, both situations, right? But there is a clear thing here. If Liverpool attracted Zubimendi, he would have said, no, I am not staying at Sociedad, I'm leaving. That didn't happen. And Husam wants to think. And now, listen, that's what Husam is telling us, that he changed his mind. But there's no evidence. The guy, there is no evidence that he said yes. It's simple. That's simple. Give me one evidence that he said yes. There is nobody in the know here. No one. Liverpool journalists said that he said yes. That's Liverpool PR. In Spain, every single time he said he's thinking about it. They said he's thinking about it. There was no one credible report that said he said yes. Every single Liverpool
PR, it should be positive, not negative, right?
No. The PR is saying that he said yes. That's called PR.
But you do realize that's negative. Yes. That's not positive.
No, that's positive. Because
no, that's completely negative.
Absolutely
you know what you're saying, Mo. You're saying that Paul Joyce and like what's his name, Ornstein and the others basically said Zubimendi said yes to Liverpool. You think that's positive PR? No. You know why that's negative PR? Because they're actually showing the whole world that the people upstairs at Liverpool are clowns. So how's that positive?
No, hold on. No. They said yes before the rejection. I think you're missing the point. But anyway, I don't think you understand the point at all. I don't know if the people in the chat understand my point. There is no credible report that he said yes, I am joining Liverpool. There is none. There is only Liverpool PR. And at the end, he made the decision to stay at Sociedad. Is it for mountains? I'm going to tell you, if you think it's for mountains, it's whatever makes you sleep well at night. I don't know. I think Liverpool are way more attractive than Barcelona. I think Liverpool are way more attractive, of course, than Sociedad. For whatever reason, maybe Liverpool could not present him with the project that is well run so he can go there and he's waiting for Barcelona or Real Madrid next season. That's the reality, by the way. What I'm saying here is what happened. What Husam is saying, and I'm not attacking Husam because the journalists from Liverpool side said, yeah, he told us yes. He told us that he's joining. But there's no credible source from Spain that said that he told Sociedad, I am joining Liverpool. I want to join Liverpool. That didn't happen. That never happened. Every single report said, oh, he's thinking about it. He's weighing both projects. He's weighing both clubs. He is hesitant to leave his boyhood club. That's what he said. That's what he said.
Do you know what's interesting for me? I agree partially with what Husam has said. I don't see how Liverpool don't have Paul an attraction. 6-time European trophy winners, 19 league titles, one of the most famous and decorated clubs in the world. I saw people online showing pictures of really poor parts of Liverpool and showing the really nice parts of Sociedad. And listen, the beautiful parts of Spain have things that no part of England has because of the weather. But actually, where these footballers live and live in sort of Cheshire and the like is amazingly beautiful. They have great restaurants. You know, I know England doesn't have great food, but you know what we do have is we've got a lot of great chefs from around the world that have imported their food here and they make it in England. Like it tastes this. Do you know what I'm saying? When you're wealthy, there's good food in every country that you're in within reason. So I don't think it's any of those reasons. Liverpool have Paul. I agree with the second part as well, actually. So when I said I agree with the beginning bit, but what I'm hearing from you is that you're running like a club that isn't serious. You're running like a mid-table or lower level team. You are not operating like the gigantic, huge club that you are. And this is the thing: if you have Paul, but you're not landing any of those players that have been high up on the priority list in recent years, drop your respective opinions on those individual players because that almost becomes irrelevant. Your club might miss out on a player, like get rejected. There are a lot of United fans that were happy that Darwin Núñez said no to us, right? And have turned out to be right. But that's irrelevant from the point that look how many targets you've had, top targets, one that have made you relax about not buying players in the here and now. 3 summers ago, I remember every Liverpool fan that came on the terrace said, I don't care that we haven't bought a midfielder. We're getting Jude Bellingham next year. You've had it with Tchouaméni's. You've had it with many a player. When it looked like Man United and Liverpool were going to compete for Lenny Yoro, Liverpool fans online, no way he's picking Man United over us. There is either a problem here. It's either a lack of pull or a lack of seriousness, a lack of execution, the wrong people in the room having these conversations. Because for the last 3 to 3.5 years, the amount of top players that you have wanted, and it is well documented that you wanted, that you haven't been able to sign, it's only a lack of pull or a lack of desire, want, or as you say, execution and getting it done. And yes, some of the players want. Listen, and we looked at these stats
Which
yesterday
one
on
do you
Straight
think is
Facts.
more logical, Terry? Honestly, which one do you think?
I think it's the execution. And the thing is, what I will say is this though: you spend £50 million a year more on wages than Man United. So whenever I hear we pay the wages that Man United do, it is a cold, hard lie. And the facts are there on Deloitte's website that over the last 5 years that detail the amount of income clubs have, and it shows you the percentage that is spent on wages and on wages. Last year, you spent, I think it was 430 million circa. We spent 380. Ours is typically always below Liverpool's. So this, and again, Liverpool, this is where the Liverpool PR comes in. Oh yeah, but we paid much less wages than everybody else. I don't know where this, I only take the financial information now from the official, what we call the big 4 accountancy firms, who just take the information directly from the detailed trading accounts because they're more accurate. Those websites that show what people are paying in salary, did they get that from Football Manager? Because it's so inaccurate, it is unbelievable. So they pay the wages. For me, it's about the execution and not being serious because you've got the money. I think you have the pull.
Thank you.
You pay £480 million a year out in wages and salaries at the moment. So there is no reason to not be able to land these players other than maybe not having the right people conducting these meetings. And I thought, I agree with you, it was going to be different with this deal because Edwards and co were back. And there's no way I thought when Ornstein and Joyce and Fabrizio, they did everything we said last week. They were trickling out the news. It went from, it looked promising. I remember Ornstein put out a tweet and it basically read, sources in Sociedad believe that he'll end up at Liverpool. And it just felt like they were trickling the news out until it completed. I genuinely, as much as I laughed and I enjoyed the meltdown as a Man United fan, I was genuinely shocked. I didn't think that Edwards would mess up and fail to get this done whilst leaking the information to the media. We all get rejected, but Liverpool are normally the best at ensuring nothing's reported from the kind of tier 1 and trusted sources until it's almost a certainty. You lost a little bit of that last year with the Caicedo deal, but that was a little different still because Chelsea were already in for him. This wasn't like you were competing against somebody.
No, I agree.
I'm not
I agree.
So for me, this is a lack of seriousness. This is a lack of professionalism. And this is a lack of execution. I do agree, because I can't, as much as people want to say you're not attractive, I don't see how the trophies, the history, the location, as much as
the fact that we're in the Champions League, we have world class.
Everything else is there. Everything.
And by the way,
Terry,
just before I forget, there's something important here because I want to debunk Mo's point once and for all, because he thinks it's Liverpool journalists and people like that. The San Sebastian newspaper, El Diario Vasco, which has actually been one of the prime people releasing all this information, have just read Liverpool and Sociedad talked last Tuesday, and Zubimendi had both feet in Liverpool. This is not Paul Joyce. This is not Ornstein. This is the newspaper, not in Spain, in San Sebastian. Because I did not follow my emotion. I'm following a logical train of thought, Mo. Because I asked you a simple question that you could not answer. If the guy said no, let's assume the guy said no from 5 days ago. What happened over the last 4 or 5 days? What are me?
I never said that. I never said that. And I answered this question. Don't tell me I didn't answer the question.
You're saying it's PR.
Habib,
this is the San Sebastian newspaper.
You just accused me of not answering your question. The first thing I said in my monologue, I answered your question.
Okay.
I don't believe he said no. I said, I believe he said, I will think about it. And Liverpool, but that's incompetence. Let me finish.
Mendy had both feet and Liverpool is not thinking about it. Don't do this.
No. It is think about it. It is think about it.
Both feet and Liverpool think about it.
Habibi, it is they never said that. They never said that. He said yes. Again, they said that Liverpool presented something. That all of this means Liverpool presented something. Let me finish. He's thinking about it. He is leaning towards Liverpool. That's not
I can ask you a genuine question.
Yes.
If Liverpool paid 51 million to Sociedad last Tuesday, is he a Liverpool player right now? Be honest.
I don't know.
Don't say I don't know, more than likely what?
Wallahi, I don't know.
Okay, more than likely what? More likely.
Okay. I know that you want to say.
But what's more likely? Just answer the question. What's more likely?
I don't know. I don't know because now at the current moment, Husam, Habibi.
Because I just put him in a corner. That's what he usually does.
No.
I just put him in a corner and he don't like it. I asked him a more likely question. More likely.
Are you gonna shout like you shouted in your video? Are you gonna yell here as well? I know. In your video.
I know you don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Talk until I finish.
What's more likely?
Are you gonna yell and the yelling in your video? This is let us talk then. Ask the question so I can answer. Go ahead.
Okay. The question is. Now that we have established what we've established from the journalists, from the newspapers, from everyone.
We haven't established anything. You established something. We haven't. Don't say we. You.
What does this say right here? Diaro Vasco.
Don't say we.
This has nothing to do with Paul Joyce.
Don't ask the question and then call me off.
Question. Last Tuesday, had Liverpool paid the 51 million release clause to Real Sociedad, is it more likely that Zubimendi is a Liverpool player now? Yes or no?
I don't know because I believe the player would not have made his decision by that time. Is that a sufficient answer to you? No. Guys in the chat, Terry.
Not a sufficient answer.
Isn't that a sufficient answer? I believe. Okay, can you just let me talk? I believe the player took his time to make his decision. How is that, Husam? How is that very hard for you to understand? The player took his time to make a decision, and at the end the decision was made not to join Liverpool, not because you're not attractive. It might be because your guys could not present the right project for the guy. Why is that so hard to believe? Why it has to be about the mountains and the food? Why
know,
cannot
you
be? I
notice
know
how I
that
never
logic.
mentioned that.
I
Did
know.
mention
I
Mount
know
Eden
that
food? I never did.
logic. Okay, let me just give you an example. Let me give you an example.
Give me
Last
an
season, I sat on the football terrace and on This Is Football and on my channel, and I said, if you speak about the football, Manchester City are more likely to win the Premier League than Arsenal. Declan Rice chose Arsenal for other reasons. Maybe Zubamendi rejected Man City for other reasons, to be a main character, to be this and that. Maybe Liverpool incompetent enough to present the right project for him. Maybe they didn't. Why are we assuming that the Liverpool guys that run the club, that failed in the Caicedo, that now failed in Zubamendi, can talk in meetings, can present the right project? Why are we
I mean, look,
assuming this?
in fairness to listen, I would say
Yeah, but he
yes
just
to-
proved my point because I said lack of
Sam,
execution.
Sam, I would say yes to your question. That I think if they just
Thank
paid the money essentially last week, he'd probably be here. Equally, though, it is right to suggest that maybe when he read the full offer from Liverpool and actually sat and had full, deep conversations, he went, actually, I've changed my mind. I don't think that is completely out the realms of possibility. We've got some super chats I want to do here. First one says, watching Husam say, Zubi, you have an enemy for life, was like watching the Arabic Liam Neeson in Taken. Can we him saying, Zubi dooby doo, where are you? I mean, that song is amazing. Even you have to admit that song was amazing from Craig, especially now that you haven't got him.
I have no comment.
Maybe he saw all the abuse from Liverpool fans online and didn't want to join. Maybe he didn't want to join that fan base.
Maybe.
All the calls and all the stuff. Yeah, maybe.
Sadiq here says, so Sam, you played down Zubamendi when he was linked to others. You got excited when you believed Liverpool signed him. Now you've got to hold that. Learn.
You know, Sadiq, you and the other Arsenal fans who want to make everything about themselves have once again shown the serious lack of brain cells that you operate in. When it comes to Arsenal, I said Arsenal should sign Kimmich because they're lacking experience. You idiot. We have the experience. Mo, Trent, Van Dijk, and Alisson is our experience. You lack experience. Who's your experience? Saka, who's 21? Obviously, it's different if he signed for you than if he signed for us. Fuck me, man.
Husam is saying Liverpool are studs, but lack social skills. Yeah, good luck. Good looking, but no riz. If I was a Liverpool fan, it would annoy me more that they have zero alternatives than Zubamendi's rejection, than the rejection in itself, especially when they needed a DM for 3 years. I think you're absolutely spot on. I think the reason why Liverpool said there was no alternative DMs is because they know that they don't have enough time to get another DM. They got 2 weeks. Come on, Abs.
Listen,
There's 2 weeks. There's loads of time.
There are transfers that could be Liverpool players by tomorrow. I could give you plenty of them. Ederson and multiple different players.
They could come. Listen, what stops Liverpool today? What stops Liverpool today going to PSG and trying to take Ugarte off Man United?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing. You're right. Nothing.
And on that report, Man United are reportedly very close. Fabrizio has said today that Ugarte loves the idea of playing for Manchester United. He's pushing to come. He's agreed personal terms. But if Liverpool have the pull, and they clearly have the money because they went in for Zubimendi, what is stopping Liverpool, Husam, going out and saying, look, PSG, that's the money you want. There's a 60 million euros. Ugarte, we're in a better position. We've got a better team. We've been winning more recently. We're in the Champions League. Come to us.
Nothing.
What's stopping Liverpool from doing that?
Nothing. And that's why I disagree with the notion that Zubamendi was the only option and that we don't have enough time. By the way, in the next 2 weeks, if we wanted to, we could sign 3-4 players, never mind one. Let's not sit up here and act like it's not possible to do. I mean, Ederson could be wearing a Liverpool shirt tomorrow. Ugarte could be wearing a Liverpool shirt tomorrow. Varela could be wearing a Liverpool shirt tomorrow. Let's not act like there are no options out there. I could go by the Tom Little train of thought and go sign the 2 Americans that he's been raving about on social media for 5 million, 10 million each. They could be Liverpool players by tomorrow. So, yeah, there is no such thing as there's no DM or not enough time. There is enough time. We just have an execution problem. That's why I'm not even saying anything about the Jordan keeper.
I wouldn't recommend going for Ugarte because imagine getting rejected by 2 players for Man United in one summer. Because Ugarte is going to be a red. He's going to be a Man United player.
By Euro, Terry. Stop being disingenuous.
You
no, he did not. No, he did not. We went to him. He said, "I want to move to Madrid." We're like, "Nope, okay, we're gonna leave." That's it.
That's a That's a rejection, bruv.
No, when you leave, that's
If
not.
you hang on a minute, if we're all, if us three men are in a bar and we're all single,
It's
no
not the
alcohol,
same.
of course,
It's not the same.
no alcohol,
It's
of
not
course,
the
and
same.
you walk up to a young lady that you find attractive, and you say, "Excuse me, madame, could we have a dance together?" And she says, "No, I'm waiting for that man Mo to come and ask me." That's a rejection, bruv.
That's not the same.
And then if Mo
getting
doesn't
a
come in
woman
for it,
versus getting a
Mo
football player
actually
is-
Mo leaves with another woman, and then Hussam thinks,
Yeah, but the woman
got a
doesn't
chance.
have an agent
and then the
and a
first thing
football
she
club
does
and someone
is walk up to,
responsible
and then
for
the first
her.
thing she does is walk up to me, and you're still left there by yourself.
Yeah, I'll tell you the
got
right analogy. Since
rejected.
you want to go down that path, I'll tell you the right analogy. The right analogy is Mo went up to the bar, paid the bartender more money than I could have, and then he got the girl because he had more money, not because he has more pull or is more attractive. Simple as.
Money is part of the pool. You pay
No,
£50 million
no,
a
no,
year
no,
more.
no, no, no.
You pay
Nope.
£50 million a year more in salary than Man United. It's a cast iron fact.
That's because of incentives. That's because Liverpool do really well. The year that we were
Incentivise-
shit,
I don't think it
Euro.
matters. I don't think
The
it
year
matters.
that
I'm
we
going
were
home with the
shit
girl
2 years
and you're
ago, we
sitting there
didn't pay that
crying.
much
That's
money,
what
no.
happens. Bro, that's
No,
what
we didn't pay
happens at
that
the end.
much
I'm
money.
going home with the girl.
Also,
you're
stop
sitting there
using that
crying.
analogy, Terry,
That's
because
what-
women don't have agents and football clubs are responsible for them and someone you have to pay to get. So it's not the same at all.
I'm not talking. Yeah, of course, I don't have to pay for it. I would never pay for a lady,
an
you know,
analogy,
in her
bro.
attention. But me and Mo have walked
wrong
off with a
analogy.
beautiful young lady on our arms. We're very, very happy. And there's Sam, ready to pull his plonker because he's all by himself. Do you know what I mean? It's not my fault. But yeah, you ain't getting Ugarte off Man United. That's as that he will reject you for Man United. He wants to be part of our revolution. He wants to be part of the Man United revolution.
Cannot wait for the downfall when your face is red by game week 3. I can't wait. I will be there.
You all are moving. Oh my
chat.
god, you're all are moving like Liverpool in the chat. There is 6,000 people here, guys, and we aren't even on 1,000 likes. Wallahi, this is
Let's get the
Liverpool.
likes up.
This is Liverpool execution in the market. Hit that like button, people. Come on.
Yeah, if you haven't hit that like button yet, what are you doing?
2,000 likes.
I think this is the biggest. This is now officially the biggest Straight Facts live stream ever with Mo and Husam. And I think it's the only other time we did a bigger one was me and Lee Gunner when DT went to prison. I think that was the only one that was bigger. So it's the second biggest ever. And
You're welcome, Terry, the money maker right here. You got me? Money maker right here.
Yeah, but it's your face on the thumbnail. I know you love the thumbnail today,
Bro,
bro. The
it's
thumbnail.
No,
is
I don't
amazing.
like the thumbnail and stop putting that fucking filter, Terry.
That's why I did it, because I knew it'd wind you up, bruv. I was like, yeah.
God.
Get the like button here. Make sure you share this stream now in your live chats as well. But yeah, Ugarte to Man United. Do you guys think that's a good bit of business for Man United?
Yeah, of course.
Mo, you wanna go?
100%. Amazing. It's amazing. I said Man United need another younger Casemiro, the Casemiro that joined the first season that actually carried that midfield. We remember to third, and they were absolutely amazing at home. Ugarte is a fantastic deal for Man United. Definitely completes that midfield with Kobe Mino and Bruno Fernandes. Absolutely. An amazing deal. Man United are targeting the right players. I thought De Ligt is great. Xerxes is good. Now Ugarte. These guys are targeting the right players. 100%. Ugarte to Man United right away makes them competitive. Not for the league, but makes them way more competitive at the current moment. You have a younger Casemiro. Guys, people don't forget that when Casemiro joined Man United, people were taught, he was in the conversation with Thomas Partey and Rodri about the best DM in the league that season. People forgot that because of the stinky season he had last year. You get a young DM like Manuel Ugarte, run around, cover Kobe Mino and Bruno Fernandes. I think you're in for a great midfield this season. With Casemiro not looking bad, look fit again. He doesn't have to play every game this season. I think it's a great deal. I don't know how much money is it for him. There is going to be a negotiations, but it's a fantastic deal. Liverpool should be all over this deal. All over this deal. But Man United again targeting the player, convincing the player to join. Today he said that he loves the idea of playing for Man United. That's reported today. And maybe Man United can pull the trigger and get Zubamendi. And I think it's a fantastic deal for them. Absolutely. This is what Liverpool needed. Maybe not that type of a midfielder completely, but I think it completes that midfield for Man United. Amazing. And if Man United get this, they're moving the right way in the market.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, I think Ugarte would be the best signing Man United have made this whole summer. I think he's exactly what they need. Destroyer, athletic, DM, can defend really well, stops counter-attacks, no nonsense DM. Not necessarily the best on the football, but I don't think they need that right now because they have other players for that. It's basically a younger version of Casemiro who still has legs, who still is athletic, who still can tackle, who still can have interceptions. I think in the entirety of Europe, he was second in tackles behind Palhinha in the whole top 5 leagues. So I think that's an indicator right there. So listen, with him leaving PSG, not being wanted at PSG, it's understandable. It's Luis Enrique is the manager. This guy preferred to play Rodri at centre back with Busquets as DM over any destroyer DM just because of the way that he likes to play football. He's someone obviously who likes to keep the ball, possession, pass left, pass right, etc. So he's not ever going to prefer someone like Ugarte. He's going to want someone who's a lot better on the ball. I think he'd be signing off. I think he'd actually be the signing of the summer for Manchester United. So
yeah. I think he would be. And I mean, I think even the passing accuracy element is, I think it's overstated with him. And I was sent this graphic earlier on today, as you gentlemen can see, that Ugarte's here. Again, the bottom line shows defensive duel succession. Defensive duels per 90 minutes, most of any DM in the top 5 leagues. And this shows passing accuracy per 90 minutes. And of course, there are people out there, you would expect Tchouaméni and, the likes De Jong and Toni Kroos to have better passing accuracy, but his passing accuracy is still over 90, but yet his defensive actions are absolutely huge. And remember, he's playing for PSG as well. So he wasn't playing for a team who are being run all over and he's having to defend like a relegation team. So I look at that, and it's only an indicator, along with the eye test and watching him play, just goes to show where the likes, you think like Casemiro's down here, Scott McTominay's here. If you just look at it from a United perspective, the two that played our DM role the most last year, having somebody that is that much better at passing and that much better at winning having successful defensive duels, it improves Manchester United. And I agree. I'm not sitting here and thinking, we're challenging City. But I do believe our midfield against City the other day, we were being run through a lot less. We were more compact. You put a player who's better on the ball than what we've got in that defensive role and who can cover more ground, plus you keep it compact, there is absolutely no reason why the Man United midfield can't flourish. And there are now the early reports we might sign 2 midfielders. Fabrizio today has shut down any talk of De Jong, even though there are loads of outlets in Spain that keep saying we're talking. But there's talk of Sander Berg. There's talk of Fofana actually at 25 million euros that we could also potentially go for in this as well, who's more of a progressive player than he is a defensive player. But I sort of look at it and think, if we ended up with Ugarte, maybe a Sander Berg in there, the baseline of technical ability in our team through all of our signings, I think has gone up dramatically.
Not Sander Berg.
I'm talking technical ability, but I'm talking technical ability here. So I'm not saying that
Sander Berg will be by far the worst out of the 3, by far.
No, and I understand out of those 3, yes, but I'm talking what we have lacked at Man United. We have a handful of players that can do the technical things, but then what we've lacked is you get an injury or rotate, and suddenly the lack of technical ability falls off a cliff. We need to maintain that. Maswari is an example of that. Sander Berg would be an example. Sander Berg could end up being a 4-4-5 twist central midfield player for Man United in 2 years' time, but he still has good technical ability. And I think the problem that Man United, it's why I'm so happy with the De Ligt deal. De Ligt is a good player. He's a very good player. But what it now means, Euro's out injured to be fair, but it means we have 3 players that are very good at playing out from the back. Maguire's going to be 4th choice this year. He's good at playing out from the back. It means that you should be able to maintain a style of football with injuries and rotation. We haven't been able to do that. So for me, that's why I like these signings, is that, again, I think Ugarte is much better on the ball than people are making him out to be. I'm not claiming he's Xavi or Iniesta or Luka Modric, nothing along those lines. But some people have been talking about him like he passes like Anderson or he's like Scott McTominay on the ball. He is vastly superior to them, in my opinion, in that kind of area. So, yeah, I'm very excited about this deal. I can't wait for our season to kick off on Friday, especially with how we played against how we played the other day against City. I think there was a lot of sort of positives in that. But yeah, I'm excited. How do you think United will get on against Fulham?
Talk more. Why are you quiet?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't think they're gonna win. I don't think they're gonna be ready. Like, I haven't watched. Like, I don't know what Fulham is about this season. I haven't watched it like Fulham preseason. I think they're gonna be the same, to be honest. I don't think they're gonna be great. Like people think that it's gonna be day and night from last season to this season out of a sudden. I don't think so. I think they're still gonna be very similar to last year. Might win the game. It's at home. It's at Old Trafford. Of course, Man United are favorites. I don't think this. A lot of Man United fans think that Man United are way better than last season, and I don't know what the evidence is. Like, and what is the evidence? Like on the pitch, is the
Enjoy it, Terry.
like I don't know what is the evidence. People are assuming that Man United will go to the Man United of 2 seasons ago under Eric Ten Hag. But why not the closer evidence? The closer evidence right here is last season. Man United, Terry's words, the worst coached team in England. That's not me. That's Terry last season. Right?
But I'll answer your question.
Yeah.
What makes me believe it is we made changes at the end of last season. We made it in the Arsenal game. We became more compact. We were hard to break down. Narrowly lost to Arsenal. And then we won our remaining 3 league games. And we beat Man City in the cup final. Throughout pre-season, we have developed from that. We've been pressing, impact in a better way. The 1-touch, 2-touch football in our approach play has been much better. And we've remained that compact nature in our team. You saw against Man City, even when it wasn't working, we predominantly were trying to play out from the back. Yes, there was some long and diagonal balls at times, but even Manchester City do that, as we have seen when they beat us in the previous year's FA Cup as an example. We have started to work on not vastly different, but to improve on our style of play. It's also been well documented on by the journalists and the content creators who had access to Man United during pre-season, watching their training. So I've seen a marginal improvement. But you got to understand here, I'm saying marginal. I'm not sitting here. If you're referring to somebody, another Man United content creator thinks we're balling, we're back, and we're going to challenge this year, I concur with your opinion.
I don't watch
okay, cool. Then this is what I'm saying. I'm talking about marginal improvements, but with a team that still managed to like win a trophy, and based on our performances, we should have been in the bottom 3 last year. But we had the quality still in our team to finish in European positions. So I believe with the improvements in the midfield in terms of being more compact, better technical footballers to enable us to play out from the back, as an example, just those 2 things alone, when we don't get deeper, Man United will be an exponentially better team this year. And midfield being run through because of our shape was our biggest weakness last year. From day one, we got run through. The most annoying thing about last season is why it took us until the fall from last game of the season to bloody address it. If we'd addressed it after 2 or 3 matches, we would have had a significantly different campaign. So I think there is evidence, there is stuff, and this is the time of the season as well, Mo. This is when you're allowed to be hopeful. You see some improvements. I'm allowed to be hopeful. I'm not deluding myself into thinking we're completely fixed, the squad's amazing, or anything along those lines. But for the first time in a long while, I'm actually excited about watching a Manchester United game in the hope, and it is hope. People go, hopium. Yes, a lot of football is hope. That's what we're clinging on to here. My hope is I see again the improvements I saw against City, and then the following match, more and more and more, and we get better and better and more consistent at it. And I'm excited about what's coming, the changes at my club. And I also have a theory. I just believe that well-run clubs off the pitch, even if very little's changed in terms of training, just in terms of culture and attitude, will change results on the football pitch. I believe it has a trickle-down effect, or the way it pumps out. So all of that I feel is going to come together for Man United over the next 3 to 4 years. But I'm very, very excited about this match. I really, really am.
I think
I'm very, very excited.
My unpopular opinion for the first Premier League weekend is I actually think only Arsenal and City are going to win their games. I think everyone else loses from the big
of the top six. You mean? Yeah.
I think it loses or draws. I think United draw. I think we draw, and I think Spurs draw or lose to Leicester City. That's honestly, I'm not even doing like the hate Man United thing. I just genuinely believe that because it's just the stars are aligning. For us, I just think Ipswich, first game back in the Premier League, excited. We have no DM. We're going to get bombarded, and I think we draw that game. Darwin Núñez will miss 4 big chances. Man United, Fulham, the whole world is watching. Premier League kicks off. I think that game ends 1-1. Leicester just got promoted again. New manager. Want to prove the whole world wrong. And to be honest, they do have a little bit of a rivalry as well with Spurs, so I think they beat them. Chelsea and City, let's not even go there because Chelsea are just 500 levels below City, so they're going to get slapped by 4 goals, in my opinion. So that's generally what I believe happens this weekend. And like with Man United, listen, the whole world is watching, man. The whole world is watching. This is what happened with Arsenal and Brentford like 3-4 years ago. And I think Man United are capable of doing that as well to the whole world. So, yeah. I think we're all
You
gonna
don't
suck.
think Man United will win at home, though? Against you don't think that Man United are?
No, I'm not saying Fulham will win. I just think it ends in a draw.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's a fair prediction. I just think what's going to happen this Friday at Old Trafford, it won't quite be nighttime until maybe the second half in terms of the floodlights. But I think that Man United fans feel like we're getting our club back. And it sounds like stupid things. But even the advert that we released today, I was like, oh, I love it. It was just class. We haven't done anything classy for years. There's been a bit of refurb in the stadium. The tunnel's been decorated. Some maintenance work has been done. The fans are happy with the transfers. The football's been pretty good during pre-season. And I feel like a night game under the floodlights with the new owners in, the new footballing people in, I just believe the atmosphere is going to be so raucous. And rival fans won't care about how can an advert help you on the football pitch? I'm not speaking about that advert in itself helping. However, it is.
Look at Terry, like all lovey-dovey about his club again. Look at you.
Yeah.
You just had 2 months away from Man United. Suddenly he loves his club again.
No, but it's not.
You're just talking so romantically and so emotionally.
But football is romantic, and anyone that thinks football isn't romantic. Anybody, hang on, let me finish my point though. Don't ruin my flow. Anyone who's not romantic about football to a certain degree is a moron, in my personal opinion. But it's a case of the advert. It makes people feel, and it isn't because it's selling a tracksuit. For me, it was because it was kind of a 90s theme, and that was when I started watching football properly. We had legends in it, the new players in it, some really funny moments with like Angry Ginge, and I feel like all these things play into the mood of a football club, the mood of the fan base reflects itself on a football pitch. And I've been heavily critical at Man United at the right times. But something over the last 2 or 3 years that I've learned is there is time for heavy criticism. And then there's also time to sit back and actually support your team, encourage your team, get behind them, because that energy is needed. And I just feel that this Friday, the energy that's going to be created at Old Trafford, coupled with, I think, improvements to our team, I think will just be too much for Fulham. All being in. Now, that euphoria, that excitement will peter out because it's a little bit, you buy a new car, you bring a puppy home, you get something new. There is like what's the word? There's a novelty to it. And I think there'll be a novelty feeling. But the only way to maintain it to a certain degree is for the football to keep getting better and better and better and better. But I think week 1, I think we beat Fulham, and I think we actually beat them quite comfortably as well. If I'm going to predict today, I predict a 3-0 or a 3-1, something along those lines. United will be comfortable and play well.
That's fair enough.
Listen,
I love
the Man United
story you just gave. You were on the Titanic hugging Man United from behind, but you just don't see the sink yet. But listen, I love it. I love it. You're turned into a poet and shit. But at the end of the day, the whole world is watching. Everyone will be watching. This is the first Premier League game. And we know when the whole world watches that it ain't easy. Ask Arsenal what happened with Brentford. Fulham will be excited. It's a new season. I think this game ends in a draw. 1-1 written all over it.
And it may. It may.
The thing about Man United is that I know that a lot of people want to say that it's improving and everything. I want to see this improvement in the Premier League games. I want to see Man United control games again, like what they did in the first season at home, be very hard to break down. Pre-season is pre-season, but this is not Erik ten Hag's first season. Last season, by the way, didn't Man United beat Arsenal in pre-season, if I'm not mistaken? And they looked all right. And then as the season starts, Erik ten Hag somehow lost his brain or sent his brother or something, and they started falling down in terms of coaching. And
but Mo, I think
injuries.
But I understand all of that, Mo. Again, if we suddenly get a depleted squad again and we lose 16 players for every single game throughout the course of this season, my mind will change. However, we saw what happened. So it's great that you've said that at the same time as this comment. Just please find Terry talking about Amrabat before the beginning of last season. Everything I said about Amrabat was true, and it came true. But it wasn't until we started getting our new board in that made Ten Hag change the way we were playing and change our formation by saying this isn't working, that we saw the best of Amrabat. Because Amrabat against Arsenal and the remaining 3 Premier League games and against Manchester City was exactly what I thought he would be for us, a game changer. A player is only as good as a system that he is in and vice versa. It's a team sport. You need good players to make a system work, but you also need a good system to help players. There isn't a DM in the world that would have looked good for Man United last year with the holes that were left around them. Usain Bolt wouldn't have been quick enough to cover those holes in his pomp. So that is where I think Ten Hag improves this year, because he's got a team of football people around him, both coaches and the board of directors, that I believe will help him. And I don't think, when you've got a bunch of accountants sitting there, how can an accountant and a marketer sit down with Ten Hag and give him genuine, not fan-led advice, but genuine advice on, listen, these holes are here, this is what we've got to do to improve it. You've now got football people in those conversations. We had the blind, not the blind leading the blind, but to an extent, it felt like that. You had bankers and accountants making the footballing decisions and then overseeing the football matters. It doesn't make any sense to me. Viewers, hit the like and share button. We do have some breaking, I repeat, some breaking news and a big bomber. A big bomber. We're going to go to your super chat soon, by the way. A big bomber from Ornstein. And he says here that Arsenal have stepped up efforts to sign Mikel Merino from Real Sociedad. Talks ongoing. Edu has been in Spain this week to pursue the agreement. Personal terms are no issue. That means they're agreed. Likely needs to be an exit from Arsenal, whether it's before or after the but. The Ornstein bomb has dropped. Arsenal looking to finalize this deal for Merino. How do you feel about this now, after you not getting a deal done with Sociedad, Husam, that Arsenal were going to take away one of their best midfielders?
This is unnecessary. We don't have to just mention Zubimendi every time someone signs a Spanish midfielder. I'd love for Merino to just reject Arsenal or something, just so they could take the pressure off of us for like 2 days, so I can breathe a little bit. But yeah, I expect this to get sorted, to be honest with you. I think he signs for Arsenal. I think he makes Arsenal really, really good from a defensive perspective specifically. That back six is just will be unbelievable. And I stick by what I said. I think it's a possibility that they genuinely probably break the goal scoring record that Chelsea have had like from 2005. I think that back six right there, if they stay fit all year long, will be very difficult to concede goals. I mean, people think that we've only watched Merino and Zubimendi and Lenormand and other people only in the Euros. We've seen them in the Champions League when Sociedad was in there. I mean, I've always referenced the Merino performance against Inter because that guy turned into a tank that day. He was unbelievable. Even Mo will attest to that. So I think Merino will be an incredible signing. And I think he helps Arsenal out a lot. Xhaka replacement, if you would like, and as well from a defensive perspective, very, very helpful for them. So I think he's a fantastic signing for Arsenal.
Do you believe if you were attractive enough to actually get Zubimendi across the line, Merino would have been joining Arsenal?
What?
I'm just genuinely asking. Do you believe if you were attractive enough and you got Zubimendi over the line, they would not have offered Merino a new contract?
I actually generally don't understand your question. How are we relating this to each other?
Do you think Sociedad would have let 2 midfielders go in the same window?
Yeah.
You don't think that they would have offered Merino a new contract?
I think it's
he's in the last year of his contract. Do you know that it was very late for Arsenal to actually try to negotiate with Merino all the summer? Because it's reported, not from Mo, that Sociedad were waiting for the decisions because they didn't want to let go of 2 midfielders. So you paved the way for Arsenal to get Mikel Merino and be stronger. I asked a simple question. I asked, did you think that if Zubimendi
I don't think we paved the way for Arsenal to get
okay,
stronger.
I'm asking you again.
Let me ask the question again. Anyway.
Let me ask the question again. Even
this is a reach and it's just not working.
Okay, hold on. I'm so say no. Say no. It's just simple.
A reach. It's pointless.
Do you think if you signed Zubimendi, Arsenal would have got Merino? Yes
How
or no?
Zubimendi said no to
Liverpool. See, answer the question. Baba, answer the question. If do you think if Liverpool have Habibi, I'm not angry. Answer the question. You accuse me of not answering the question. Do you guys, yes or no in the chat, guys? Do you think if Liverpool signs Zubamendi, Arsenal would have got Merino? Yes or no? Simple. Simple. I think you helped Arsenal. I think your board helped Arsenal get Merino.
Well, we helped Arsenal get Merino. Okay, you're welcome, Arsenal.
100%. I think so. Because there is no reason for Arsenal to absolutely negotiate that long for Merino. I said that, by the way, before on my show. I genuinely think they would have offered Merino a new contract. Arsenal would not. Arsenal stayed that long. We criticize Arsenal for delaying the Merino deal. The league is about to start. 1 week, 2 weeks. And it looks like it's related to Zubamendi. And now with this, it's related to Zubamendi. You could have stopped this, Liverpool. Not you. It's not you. You didn't. Husam didn't negotiate, guys. Husam didn't negotiate. Husam called out the board. It's not Husam. But I think they are related.
I don't think they are related to each other, Mo. I'll be honest with you.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so at all. Why would they be related to each other?
They are both the midfielders of Sociedad, so not would have let go of 2 midfielders in one window.
Nah, I think they would have. Why not? They would have. No. Yeah, they would have.
Anyway, Merino. Okay, let me just talk about it. Merino for Arsenal makes him Premier League favourites. 100%. 100%. Merino for Arsenal will put them favourites to win the Premier League. With Timber fit, Calafiori, Thomas Partey fit now, I think Arsenal are favourites to win the Premier League. Along with the charges and the trial for Man City that actually I think that plays a part in this, by the way. People think it's all about like clickbait and all the stuff. No, guys, the stability of the club, as Terry said before, makes the football on the pitch better. The instability of Manchester City make Arsenal favourites. When they signed Merino and they got Calafiori, I don't know if they're going to get a striker or not. I think they are favourites. Man City have not done business yet. They've only signed 1 player, Savinho, that signed from January. We know the deal has done in January. Man City have not signed player, and they sold their second striker, Julian Alvarez. At the current moment, league starts tomorrow. Arsenal get Merino. I think Arsenal are favourites to win the Premier League because of the lack of signings, the cover for Rodri for Manchester City, and because of the instability of the club with Guardiola not making a decision, and the charges, the trial that is going to start next month, and the decision that will be made in January. I don't know why our people don't want to understand this. Genuinely, it's a very simple equation. Unstable club, Manchester City, a manager that hasn't given a decision until this moment, a club that is strengthening in the window, another club that hasn't done the signings yet. The fan base are screaming for a cover for Rodri, for a midfielder. Why is it so hard? And by the way, Arsenal have not closed the gap with Man City. What gap? Last season, Arsenal got 4 points from City, and the league ended with 2 points difference. It could have been any referee decision. It could have been the Newcastle decision. It could have been the offside for Kevin De Bruyne, or it could have been a tap-in, or it could have been a post. People really think that there's a big margin between Man City and Arsenal. Where is your evidence for this? The teams were neck to neck last season until the last game. And in the head-to-head, they were so equal. Oh, but Arsenal defended at the Etihad, and they were closer to the win. They created more chances. It's a way of playing football. Arsenal now, I said it. I predicted Arsenal to finish ahead of Man City this season for all these reasons. I'm not going to say they're going to finish with 10 points like some Arsenal fans, but I think it's very close. And I think Arsenal with the signings and a more stable club, and I think Arteta will be offered a new contract, I think they're going to edge it this season. And if Arsenal don't win, I think it will be like maybe 2 points, 3 points or something. Why do people think that's a wild take? Oh, because City won 4 in a row. Last season, it's only 2 points. Young Min Son put the ball in the back of the net, which is you would bet on him to do it 9 times out of 10. Arsenal are sitting in champions. Simple. Why is it hard to believe?
It isn't a crazy take to think that Arsenal will win the league. The problem is with some people is that when you say Arsenal favourites, they take it as, oh, you're writing City off. You think City have got no chance. You think City are crap or something. It's just there's a trigger. I still think they've got to sign an attacker, Arsenal, for them to become my marginal favourites. I still think they need an attacker. But all isn't, again, we're nitpicking here with City because we're talking about the difference between champions and not being champions. Their fans aren't very happy. Their fans are a little bit stressed with the lack of signings, the lack of investment. I know they feel they're innocent, but it still could take its toll on the team. You don't know what's going to leak or what's going to come out of the court case, what's going to be said, what's going to be revealed to the media. I know it's going to all be behind closed doors, but we don't know the answers to any of these things yet. So it isn't a crazy take for Arsenal to say that Arsenal are going to win the league. I don't think it's a crazy take anyway, personally.
We can see the easy choice, by the way. Easy choice. Oh, City will win the league. Okay. And I don't think it's like people think it's like when we talk about Arsenal, you guys simp for Arsenal. Well, last season, Arsenal on paper on the 2 games were better than Manchester City. Arsenal had the better defense. City didn't win the league with 10 points. The season before, yes, City were better because at the end, City gave away the last 2 games and won the league. But last season, City were on their seats against Spurs. You were on your seat. You couldn't sit against Spurs. Did Arsenal, ask yourself one question. Who got weaker, Arsenal or City this season? And who got stronger? Just ask yourself that. And you know the answer. You know the answer.
The only correct answer actually is Arsenal. And you know what it is? Factually, it's Arsenal, whether you like it or not. That thing.
Crazy.
How did City improve when they've only signed Savio? Unless Savio's like secretly the next Messi or something, then City have not improved. This is not an insult. This is just a fact. Like, how have City improved when their only signing is Savio? I don't get it. Like, are we supposed to sit up here and just lie to everyone just to appease the Arsenal haters, if you would like? What am I supposed to do? Like, oh wow, City are so much stronger, but no, they're not. They've literally only signed Savio, brother. So, like, what am I supposed to say? Oh wow, City are so strong, bro. They've made one fucking signing and it's just Savio, man. Like, so yeah.
You know, Arsenal when San Merino, basically this season, guys, they will have 4 new players, not 2. Timber played half a game. Half a game last season, right? Thomas Partey played 1.5 games or 2.5 games last season. If these guys stay fit and now they added depth to the team and they add Merino, they haven't lost anyone of significance, Arsenal. But no player of significance have lost. Gabriel Jesus look way more fit. Everyone knows that Arsenal have improved. Unless something dramatic happens. Every one of Man City fans crying on their shows. You guys know by the names, you know the content creators that we watch, our friends. We need another guy that can play the 6 to 8. Rodri will not last the whole season. He's already exhausted. He played the Euros, this and that. Yeah, but it's very simple. I don't know why it's hard to understand. I think it's, again, Man City fans. Yes, you have Pep Guardiola, but there are too many factors here. It's too many factors. It's crazy. Oh, bro,
Look, it's certainly going to be an interesting one. I want to go through some of these super chats because there's quite a lot of them to get through. First one says Liverpool gone back for Zubi. Check X, big up. No, they haven't. It's just trolling.
No, I'm not going to go there.
Plan B is the new copium. Soonest may your club rot.
Plan B is not copium. Plan B is the truth. You always have to have a plan B.
Should be one. How many players have rejected Liverpool until before Husam admits Liverpool have no pull? Trent, well, yeah, no new deal. Lavia, Caicedo, Sancho, etc. Another season with no
Sancho?
DM.
When the fuck did we go for Sancho? Do you guys just find random players that other clubs have signed, just add them to the fucking list, just to feel good about yourself? Dan, I get it. You're a Chelsea fan. You need to like remove a couple of brain cells, so I understand why. But yeah, you're here though. Big up. Big up. This is so not true, man.
Husam assured us Zubimendi wasn't as good as Douglas Luiz before the Euros, so surely they can find someone else good enough.
Once again, Arsenal fans genuinely don't get the point. When I was asked by Terry and by Mo and by all the Arsenal fans who should Arsenal sign, I said Kimmich because they lack experience. We have the experience. We need ball-playing midfielders. It's different. It's completely different. And yes, we should have no problem replacing him, but we don't because we have no execution skills.
Sorry, I'm just making a timestamp when we start these super chats. Husam is as delusional as the rest of the Liverpool fans. At this point in time, they have no more pull than United, City, or Arsenal. PR merchants.
I mean, I don't think we have more pull than City or Arsenal. I think
Or
we are
Man
more
United.
attractive than United. Yes, we are. We are more attractive than Man United if the finances are the same. That's what I would say. Hey, listen, if you include money, I'll just say this now flat out. I'll flat out say it now. If money is part of pull, then we're only more attractive than Spurs out of the big six clubs. If money is part of pull. But if you're talking about attraction, then we're just below Arsenal and City currently. I cannot be more fair than this. I'll be honest with you.
New reports: there are problems between Sociedad and Zubimendi's contract talks. I don't know about that. I don't know about that one, Chief. The reason is because Liverpool have tried to save a buck again instead of being serious. Activate the clause straight away. This is a way if this is the only DM. Well, that's also true. Yeah, if what they've said is true and he's the only DM, then bloody activate.
Yes, thank you. That's why,
yeah.
Terry, it's not about pull, it's about execution. That proves my point even more. Just pay the 51 million, he's your player since he's the only DM in the market. That's it, man.
Would rather have no pull than not win a major honor for 2 decades. Man said people still wore the Ombro when Arsenal last won the league. Big up, lads, is what Jack says here. Mo, why do you think Chelsea will finish above United and Spurs? What evidence has Enzo shown managing 1 year in the Championship to finish above Ten Hag and Ange?
Because I think Chelsea have a better team.
Yet. I can't wait.
Because I think that they are having a better team. And I think with Osimhen being added, if he's been added, I think Chelsea have a better team. He has problems defensively, but I think they have... I think with Neto experienced, Nkunku fit, Cole Palmer second season, Lavia the way he looks, Caicedo, Dewsbury Hall, Malo Gusto, I think they have a better starting 11 than Man United. And if they add Osimhen as well, I think they're real danger as well. So that's
well, they've been interestingly on that. Chelsea today have been offered big news that Chelsea have been offered the opportunity now to do a swap deal and some cash for Lukaku and Osimhen. Let's just forget about the Conor Gallagher and João Felix thing that's going on. There is absolutely zero reason for Chelsea to not bring in Osimhen now, surely. It just seems like the biggest no-brainer in the world to get that deal over the line.
Yeah, hold on. This is something else. Don't tell me wages and shit. Osimhen takes Chelsea to a different level. Don't talk to me, oh, he wants this wages. You want a top player, you have to pay up. You aren't going to go sign Osimhen and give him 5 million a year, 50K a week. That's not going to happen. Just sign the guy, get rid of Lukaku, who is in a massive wages as well. Get Osimhen in. He's 26 years old, established forward. Take your forward line to a next level. Let Maresca even not worry about the forward line. Fix the defensive issue, right? And move on. This notion, oh, Jackson here and Kunku might play forward. You're going to get one of the best forwards in the world. And you're going to get rid of one of your highest earners on the team in Lukaku that you want to get rid of for a cheap price. Get it over with Chelsea. And if this deal happens, I think it takes Chelsea to a different level. I think he edges them over the likes of Newcastle, United, Spurs, Aston Villa for top 4, right? Enzo Maresca shown very good signs of going forward, the chances they create. He has shown fragility in terms of defense and stuff, but I think with the Lavia and Caicedo in front of the defense, I think they can cope. He will learn as well. Osimhen deal, it's not even anything to think about. Forget that wage start. And don't get, like the Chelsea fans, don't get gaslighted by the board telling you.
It's something to think about for Osimhen. And I'm not even being a quote-unquote Chelsea hater before these guys start crying. No, this is the truth, Mo. I'm sorry, you cannot deny this. Osimhen is a Champions League level player. He should not move to Chelsea. Like, this is the reality of the situation. Sometimes we have to come up here and we have to say the truth. This is not just us, like, sitting up here. It's not everything is about hating this and hating that. This is the truth. Osimhen currently is a level above Chelsea. Facts. This is not an insult. This is not any of this shit. This is the reality. Osimhen is a level above Chelsea with all due respect. Like, this is a world-class striker, one of the best strikers in the world, probably top 5, top 4, top 3 striker in world football right now. He should not be joining Chelsea. He needs to join a much better club, like a PSG, like an Arsenal, like clubs who need a striker, who want him. He should generally choose that over Chelsea, because as well, there's another thing. There's so much instability and lack of continuity at Chelsea that Osimhen cannot sign his prime age career to that football club right now. Like, you can't. I think Chelsea need a good track record of 1 or 2 years before, like, maybe world-class players start joining. Now, Osimhen might join for the money or for, guaranteed play time or Premier League attraction or blah, blah, blah. But if I'm being honest, he should move to Arsenal 100%, or a club that's a lot more established right now. Like, it's just about being established for Osimhen. Like, we're talking about the best of the best here. Osimhen, in his bad year, scored 15 goals and had 6 assists in 25 games. That's Osimhen on a bad year. That's still better than every single Chelsea forward combined, put together. So, like, yeah, for me, he's just a level above Chelsea, and he need to reject Chelsea, to be honest with you. He need to say no, because he's a level above. He's a level above them right now. I think he should go to Arsenal. I don't know why Arsenal are not in for him.
Yeah, I mean, the Arsenal situation is going to be interesting. Look, I think he's interested in Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea have really lost their pull. What I'm intrigued about is more the opposite side. Are Chelsea willing to pay the big wages? Because there was this policy of not paying anybody above 150,000 a week. Chelsea fans have said, we don't really think this exists. This is prime example. The only reason they will not get Osimhen is because they're not prepared to pay him the salary that he wants. That's the only reason. The player wants to come to the Prem. He likes Chelsea. Napoli want to do the deal. I think Chelsea want to do the deal, but it's whether or not they're prepared to pay him, because you're gonna have to pay him 250,000 a week minimum. Maybe you get away with 200k with some really heavy incentivized bonuses for scoring goals, winning games, Champions League qualification. But Chelsea have to go and do this. Fixing their defense before the start of the season is key. They were very, very leaky through the middle. Their defense was very, very leaky in pre-season, and that would be a worry if you're a Chelsea fan. But their approach play was good. They fed the ball into the box well. They created opportunities. Someone, I believe, like an Osimhen, it'll be food and drink for him. It'll be bread and butter. It'll be putting those balls into the back of the net, and he would be dangerous and potent for Chelsea. And this is the one thing I'd say. If he is putting the ball away and they're progressing and winning games, then he isn't wasting his career. This is a team that got to a final of a cup competition last year. Do I believe with the Victor Osimhen in their team, they would have won that trophy? The manager and got a random ball to the Leicester manager. No, I understand that, and there are definitely some negatives in there for City. I'm not going to Chelsea. Sorry, I'm not going to deny that. But I think Osimhen would have won him a trophy last year. That extra body. I think they could have made the top 4 last season. In the first 3 months of the season, yes, they dropped a lot of points, but they were a dominant force in many of those games. They just couldn't score. Then they went for a really rough patch where the confidence went, and then back into the season, they turned it on again. You had someone like a Victor Osimhen at the beginning of last season finishing all those chances that Jackson and co were missing. They could have made it into the Champions League last year. So that's why I think it's worth the investment from Chelsea to get this over the line. He becomes their best attacker. He becomes... Listen, I know someone actually see here says Osimhen has only scored 20-plus goals in one season, and that was his last. What makes him world-class? Well, look, let's just drop the world-class word, because everyone has a different definition. But there are certain players out there. So a lot of people will turn around, and I'll give you the name of one, and it's not a Man United player, but Michael Owen. Michael Owen, before all the injuries, was seen as a prolific striker. I'm not digging him out. He never once scored 20 league goals in a season.
Any more digs you want to send it to me, Terry?
He also played for Man United, Michael Owen.
Yes, once a man can never have read.
Yeah, I hate that. But I'm not slagging him off. We know how good he was. Just because you haven't scored 20-plus goals doesn't make you a good striker. He won the Ballon d'Or with not scoring 20 league goals in a season. I'll give you a Man United example, okay? And I'm going to go and get his actual numbers here. But Andrew Cole, or Andy Cole as we call him, I think he likes Andrew Cole to be explained now. In his career, in a 40-game league season, he scored 34 goals, smashed it. Outside of that, he never scored more than 19. He did it in 99-2000 season. He never scored more than 19 league goals in a campaign again. And he only got above 15 3 times after that. And Andy Cole was looked at as a Premier League legend for the amount of goals that he scored. This is the man who ended his career with 229 league goals. So this idea that you have to be scoring over 20 a season to be considered top class is wrong. Because I don't think you need. It's about what you do across all competitions, and it's about how consistently you are scoring. Yes, you've got Messi's and Haaland's and Mbappe's and Ronaldo's that have essentially broken they've broken the mold a little bit with the volume of goals they've scored. They've just gone to another level with it as an example. But looking at Osimhen, 20 goals, 18 goals, 18 goals, 31. Last year, he got 17 in 32 games. He got 15 league goals in 25 league games last year. That's a good return. And when you look at it, what is he now? He's only 25 years old. 25 years old. He's got his peak years ahead of him. There is no doubt in my mind that he could score 20 to 30 goals per season across all competitions for Chelsea for the next 3 or 4 years. I really do think he can.
Same person
Possibly.
will turn and tell you Isak is world class, and Isak had one season. I hadn't had even a season above 20 goals. One season, if I'm not mistaken. Last season, Isak Isak is 1 year younger than Osimhen.
He is a Chelsea fan.
Played in La Liga. Hold on. Yeah, but they turn around and say,
as soon as they should see Osimhen, he should go down on his knees and beg for him to join, bro. Acting like Osimhen.
No, they definitely should. This year says, if Osimhen is so good, why is no one fighting over him?
Because, can I give you the honest reason? And actually,
go on.
There are 2 clubs in Europe that many sporting directors and football clubs don't like dealing with, and that's Napoli and Lyon, because they're very tough negotiators. They don't flinch, they don't mess around, they don't F around. If Napoli tell you they want 100 million, there's no 98, 95. It's going to be 100 million, whether you like it or not. That's the problem with them.
I think that's part of it. I also think there's an element here of Real Madrid don't need him. They've got Mbappe. City don't need him. Liverpool need him, but they dropped so much money on Darwin Núñez. There isn't the money there to go and buy another striker. I'd have liked Man United to have done it, but we've put a lot of money into Rasmus, and I think the club is saying we've got to try and make it work. I think he would have said no to somebody like Tottenham. So there's those things there. Plus, Napoli wanted 130 million. A lot of clubs walked away and went elsewhere. Osimhen wants Chelsea because we have a rich African background, not that Paul Husam.
Okay, using that logic, we should have attracted Zubimendi because we have a rich Basque background. We could have Xabi Alonso. Just go look at where Xabi Alonso went to. So let's not go there.
Very weak argument.
Nabil here says Husam McTominay is available. You want him. At least he may not say no. No, McTominay would reject Liverpool 110%. He would. He'd say no. FSG lack ambition. They obviously believe we can make top 4. Slot is happy to just be employed, like Husam said. Enjoy it while it lasts. With the 4 elite players is what Nazir says.
Just enjoy it while it lasts. Last year, possibly.
Consistency is key for United this season. Even in Ten Hag's first season, we were frustratingly inconsistent. Show progression and build a solid base. I agree with you 100%, Patrick. 100%. But you get that by getting players that are more like-minded in terms of their technical ability. The technical ability will help to breed more consistency. Plus the way you run. Those 2 things hopefully will yield that.
And your execution, found out.
Yes. In the top 6, who has the worst defense? Again, I can only go if we go off last season.
By the way, that's not even crazy at all.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you go off last season's facts, it's Man United with the amount of shots we conceded. If I go based on I've watched every team in pre-season this year. Tottenham I've watched the least, to be fair. The team who look the leakiest at the moment are Chelsea. So it's between Chelsea and Man United are probably the 2 teams in that debate right now. Let's see what happens when the actual football starts.
Yeah, on paper, it's Chelsea as well. On paper, strictly on paper.
I actually think Zubimendi negotiated with Liverpool for a Sociedad contract. Agents at work, knowing Merino's money was coming in.
If that's the case, he should have done that when Arsenal asked, when Bayern asked, when Man United asked. By the way, Terry will tell you how many players have used Man United for contracts before.
None. No, hundreds. Husam, you had the same situation with Gerrard when he almost left for Chelsea. Players can seriously consider an offer and change their minds.
Yes, the difference is Gerrard did not have a release or buyout clause. Zubimendi did.
Also, Zubimendi didn't get threatened by some local gangsters outside his house.
Here we go. How do you know he didn't get threatened by the animals of San
According
Sebastian?
to media reports, allegedly.
You don't
Just
know
to cover
this.
myself
You don't
from
know
being
this.
sued.
Allegedly. Yes.
This is my first,
Allegedly.
super. Well done, mate. Thank you, my friend, for your first ever super chat, brother.
Big
I
up all the
appreciate that.
Nigerian
Big up
brothers as well.
yourself. For you. Big weekend as well for Nigeria and the African continent as well, with Israel Adesanya versus Duplessis in the UFC. I cannot wait. I'm waiting for the fight, but the fireworks in their build-up are going to be amazing over the next few days as well. Big up UFC in Perth. Love Mo, Raising Husam, Deluded Don, Dio, and Terry. Thank you very much.
Well, let me ask you both a question before Jeremy. Would you rather be known as raging or deluded?
Raging. I had people though. I had friends of mine that are not involved in the social media sphere at all, actually like messaged me about you, Husam. They were like, "Bruv, I've been on the internet today. I seen that guy Husam on your channel trending." And they said, "Do you know what they all said? They said what we love. One of them's a Liverpool fan, but what we love about Husam's rants is they're real because they're not happening every day." He isn't, and he was sort of, and I was like, "It's so interesting now the feedback I get from sort of non-social media people that just come across this. They're like, I like it when Husam's angry because I know he means it because he's not overreacting every 5 minutes." And I'm like, that's very true, very true.
You want to know when I actually raged? By the way, the rage wasn't even at Zubamendi's rejection. That was a sadness. You know when I raged? When I went live. I went live, right? 15 minutes later, Ornstein, Liverpool are not going to sign a 6. That's when the rage started. That's literally when I raged.
You know, I hear you. That's when it really kicks in because it's like, well, okay, well, who else are we getting instead then? Bang, no one. Mo is Fabrizio lying, who personally knows Zubi and said that the player is attracted to Liverpool.
Martin Zubamendi had rejected Liverpool with a formal communication to the club tonight. Martin Zubamendi rejects Liverpool after he did the same with Bayern, Arsenal opportunities in recent year. Fabrizio has never said, and even the word attracted is like, yeah, the project is appealing. I will think about it. Adi. Like when
Mo,
again, like everything.
Yeah,
the problem with you, Husam, is that you don't wanna agree at all that players change their opinion and players can think about things.
That's possible.
That's
Big up Kenneth. He actually told me they were sharing it in group chats in Zimbabwe. Big up to you, Kenneth, man. Big up to you.
Do you know, when I ranted a couple of seasons ago when Brentford smashed us, I don't know what possessed me to do it. I don't really do a lot of content like that. I just started screaming and put something out. My grandmother was having her hair done, Blue Rinse Brigade, old lady, my nan is. And she heard somebody listening to it in the old lady's hairdressers. And it was one of the grandkids like listening to it. And she was like, I know that voice. And she asked to see it. And she was like, they were looking at it. And she was like, that's my grandson. So even in an old lady's hairdressers in the East End of London, it was getting played. I couldn't believe it. And she just said, what are you doing? She didn't even know I was doing this full time. She went, what will the bank say? I went, no, I haven't been in the bank for like 5 years. Like, get rid of losing it a bit, losing the old marbles. You know what I mean? Look, I want to thank everyone that's tuned into the show today. It is always a pleasure to sit and talk football with these boys. Your super chats, you guys hitting the like button has been absolutely amazing. Remember, we're back, tomorrow with more content, including the top 6 show previewing the start of the Premier League. Very, very excited about that indeed as we build up to Man United. Of course, it's Man United opening what I think could be the most passionate, crazy, spellbinding Premier League season ever. The football, the rebuilds, the meltdowns, the court cases. I think you factor that all in together, this could be the very best yet. So make sure you're all tuning in. There's only one place to be. We're going to kind of cover all of the top 6, all the match reactions. And we've got some big announcements coming very, very soon on the Football Terrace. We're doing formal shows on it. Formal shows, not 4 more. Formal shows on it. As we hopefully go to that next level and definitely the next chapter as a channel. And you guys are all coming along for the ride. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.